Hey guys, Legoinator here, and welcome to the Super Gurus podcast, your one-stop podcast for that comic book addiction. With me, as always, is my trusty co-host Finn.
Hey!
This week on the Super Gurus podcast, we're going to be chatting some comic book news that has happened this week. As we do every week, we'll also be doing our main content where we are discussing DC reboots, and you guys are in for a treat. There are a lot of DC reboots. At the end, we'll be doing our famous segment, This Week in Comics. Okay then guys, without further ado, let's jump straight into this episode of The Super Gurus. So my first piece of news is Michael Pena has confirmed he will be reprising his role as Lewis for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yay! He's great.
Yeah, I agree. He's so good in that role. I think that's just perfect casting.
Yeah, he was the guy that was said that was doing all those like sort of segments in the movie where it was like some guy told me this and that guy told him that. And, yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's the big sprawling story guy.
Yeah, that guy. He's great. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's reprising his role for Ant-Man and the Wasp, and pretty great to see. Can't wait to see him in the role again.
Definitely. It's going to be great.
I haven't seen him in anything since then, so looking forward to it.
I've seen advertised a movie for him. It's like a remake of this really naff TV show.
Oh, I think I've seen that too. Isn't it called Chips or something?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, I heard that movie's horrible, so...
Yeah.
Okay, next up, there's a Spider-Man spin-off. You know how we had Venom last week?
Yeah.
Well, the news just keeps on getting better and better. Now we have the news that a Black Cat and Silver Sable movie is coming out.
Oh, I'm not too sure. Don't really know who Black Cat and Silver Sable are, but
Well, I was being sarcastic, Finn. I'm not looking forward to this at all.
Oh, okay then.
This is not good.
Okay.
Finn, Silver Sable, Black Cat, they're sort of like Catwoman as Spider-Man, but a bit more romantic, a bit less. You know how Batman has that weird romance with Catwoman?
Yeah.
It's a bit more of a real romance with Spider-Man. Do you get it?
I sort of get it, I think so.
That's how I can explain it. I haven't really read much of them either. I don't even know who Silver Sable is, but I know who Black Cat is. And there has been a news that the script is going to be written by Chris Yost, and he has done Thor 2 and Thor Ragnarok. So at least that's some good news.
That is some good news. If it does follow through the movie, so...
Yeah, if Sony doesn't drive it into the ground.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and we have some other news that these movies, luckily, aren't going to be connected to the MCU.
That's great news.
Yeah, I was not looking forward to Venom. I think that they're just going on the wrong route. How are they going to do a Spider-Man movie, a Spider-Man spin-off, without Spider-Man? Are they going to do another Spider-Man?
I don't know. Wait, who else does like Venom hate or like interact with in the comics?
No one. It's like just Spider-Man.
Yeah, so...
I guess Carnage, but Carnage interacts with Spider-Man too.
And so how are they going to connect Spider-Man?
Yeah, I know. Like, they're not using the Spider-Man from the MCU because it's not connected to the MCU, meaning they need a different Spider-Man, which is just confusing, because if they have a different Spider-Man, then there'll be two Spider-Men at once.
Miles Morales, maybe, or something?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, Silver Sable, Black Cat, you need Spider-Man there. Like, you can't do a Batman universe without Batman. You know, you can't have a Clayface and Joker movie without Batman. It just doesn't work.
It's all like a Robin movie without Batman.
Yeah, it's like a little hollow version of the original movie.
I see. I don't know how they're going to do it, and if they pull it off, then probably not.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, and I don't think it's going to be good, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, next bit of news is Woody Harrelson. Remember how he's going to be the mentor for Harrison, well, for Han Solo in the new Han Solo solo movie?
Yep.
Firstly, Han Solo solo movie sounds really fun to say, but it's really odd. Like, Han Solo solo movie.
Han Solo solo movie. That's trippy.
Pretty funny.
It's trippy.
Yeah, I agree. So he has been the mentor for Han Solo, and his character has just been given a name.
Okay.
Beckett. His name's Beckett.
Solid name.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I like it. It has a nice ring to it.
It does. It contrasts as well with like Han Solo and Beckett.
Yeah, I know. It's odd. I really like this name, but it is just a name. Like that doesn't give away any plot details or anything, so not really much to talk about here.
Nothing really, yeah.
Okay, do you want to give your piece of news, Finn?
Yeah, okay, so, basically, the Lego Wonder Woman sets have been revealed, and, in them, Ares, the god of war, has been revealed as a minifigure.
Yeah, he's a big fig.
Big fig, yeah. Sorry, I haven't seen the sets, but, yeah, so this leads to speculation about will he be in the Wonder Woman movie, and if so, what role will he be, protagonist, antagonist, or just another subplot?
Yeah, I reckon he will be in the movie, because normally the villains Lego has in their Lego sets are in the movie, even though sometimes they're not. Like in the Doctor Strange set, they had a portal beast as the villain, but he wasn't in the movie, obviously. So, but Ares is probably in the movie, and I am looking forward to it. I think the figure, it looks awesome, Finn. It's like a massive brick-built minifigure, and it has a massive bone helmet thing.
Nice.
So we'll probably see that in the actual villain. But I think that Ares would be like maybe he's the main villain. Maybe he's helping out in World War One. Like maybe he's helping the Germans or something like that.
I don't know. I don't really know too much about his role, his interactions with Wonder Woman, and are they do they get on well, or do they hate each other, or?
I think it's sort of like Wonder Woman doesn't mind what Ares is doing as long as he doesn't start interfering with Earth.
Okay.
You know?
Well, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the movie then. If he is gonna... Yeah.
Maybe he's like behind World War One. You know, maybe he's trying to plot the forces of Germany against the Allies to try and cause war, because, you know, he thrives off war.
Yeah, that's a good theory, actually. He's been manipulating Hitler and... Oh, no, not Hitler.
It's World War One.
It's World War One, yeah, I was about to say. Not Hitler, Germany and Britain. Yeah, so that'd be an interesting point, actually.
Yeah, like maybe he's manipulating everything so he can thrive off the war and grow stronger. And Wonder Woman sort of has to stop Ares to stop the war.
Or stop the war to stop Ares.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that could be quite cool, and I'm looking forward to Wonder Woman a lot.
That's an interesting dynamic, actually. And it's different to, like, other comic book movies where we don't have any real references to our world.
Yeah.
Which is, it's cool. I like it.
It's like a spin on history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be really cool, and I hope they do that path, because now that I think about it in my head, it sounds really awesome. Okay, next up, we have Batgirl. There is a Batgirl solo movie coming out. And Finn, have you heard who's directing?
No. I've heard that there's a movie coming out, and I'm hyped for it, but who's it directed by?
Okay, Finn, put your hype hat on, get protected, because Joss Whedon is directing the new Batgirl movie.
Yeah, boy.
Joss Whedon, the man behind Avengers 2, I think he could go really well and do this Batgirl movie justice. And it is going to follow the new 52 Batgirl movie, by the way. No, the new 52 Batgirl.
That's really good. I'm a big fan of new 52 Batgirl. I've read a lot of her stuff. That sounds really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, it's good to know that she's not just going to be Oracle the whole movie, you know, just wheeling around in a wheelchair. Nice to know she's going to be out there kicking some ass.
That's good. When do you know, when does it say it's coming out?
It just says it's in production, so I'll expect it like sometime. Maybe it's the movie that they're trying to get to fill the 2018 slot, but that seems too early. So I'd say like start of 2019.
Yeah, that sounds really good, actually.
Yeah.
Hype for it, yeah.
Me too. Okay. That's it. That's it for our news this week. Unlike last week where we were talking about news for like 30 minutes, this week we're only talking about news for like 10-ish. So now we're going to talk about some trailers that have came out this week. We had a Justice League trailer and a Spider-Man Homecoming trailer. Finn, what trailer do you want to talk about first?
Let's do the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer first.
Okay, so this trailer, I liked the trailer. It was a lot of good action. We saw a lot of the Vulture. It was really cool, but I think it has one big flaw, and it's that it gave away too much of the movie.
I felt that it was just the right amount of sort of the plot. We still didn't know, like, the very specifics of it, but we know sort of a general overview of it. That hasn't stopped me from wanting to go see this any less, and I'm still really up for this movie. And this trailer, I think, just adds on to my expectations and my hope for the movie.
Yeah, I am also really excited for Spider-Man Homecoming. I think it's going to be really good, but there's some things that I think that this trailer shouldn't have gave away. Like, it gives away the whole Iron Man's taking his suit off him. It gives away the whole ferry scene in its entirety. And it sort of shows us exactly what's going to happen in the third act. You know, Vulture fighting Spider-Man, and then they're on the plane.
Yeah, I have to admit, though, the bit with Iron Man taking off the suit is a bit of a bummer. And I think that they could have kept that a bit quieter or not shown nearly as much of it.
Yeah, I think the ferry scene is the biggest bummer for me, because I think that scene looks awesome, but I think they sort of gave away too much. You know, Vulture comes, destroys the boat, Spider-Man tries to help, doesn't succeed, Iron Man helps him out, takes the suit away. You know, like, that's sort of like, that sounds like the whole second arc of the movie.
I think that it would have worked a lot more if we hadn't seen any of that scene in the trailers, and we saw that purely in the movie.
Yeah, like, I don't think they needed to give that away. Like, people are going to go see this movie anyway, and I don't think that you need to give as much story details as they did away. I still think it's a great trailer, but I really hope that in the third trailer, they don't give any more story details away, just imagery.
Another thing that they could have done is they could have made a massive plot twist in it, and there's this whole other arc or whole other element to the story that we don't know about, and they haven't even told us or hinted at us in the trailer, and they're going to show that in the movie. And that's why they're doing all this in the trailer, to get us hyped, to make us think we're going to see this movie, but it's something completely much bigger or much different or something.
Yeah, that is a possibility. I don't think that's going to happen, but I can see where you're coming from with that sort of theory.
I think it would be a bit too extreme, and the movie would drag on too long, and there'd be hard pressured to make it good. It would probably turn out more naff than good, actually, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, Finn, this is something heaps of people have been talking about. I'm just going to sidetrack straight away from the whole giving away too much plot. Let's talk about the Captain America cameo. What do you think of that?
Wait, Captain America cameo.
I remember he's on the VHS tape giving his fitness routine.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, what is that? It's just a fitness routine, but he didn't look like he was in like a proper suit or anything. It was the same sort of suit that he did in World War One, where it was just like cloth and felt.
Yeah. It's like his World War II parade suit. You know how he did all those parades? Yeah, it's like that.
It's not even armor or anything, it's just like felt.
Yeah.
I didn't think too much of it, to be honest. When you first said it, I was just like, well, where was there a Captain America cameo?
Yeah, it didn't even register.
It's so minor. Maybe he'll play a bigger role in the movie.
Doubt it.
Oh well.
Because he's still on the run, after Civil War.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, so he can't make a appearance in the movie, or Iron Man's gonna have to arrest him.
That's true.
So that's it for the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer. I'm gonna give this trailer a B.
B+.
Okay, so that's it for our discussion on Spider-Man Homecoming. Now let's talk about the Justice League trailer. And I'm just gonna say, I love this trailer. I think this trailer is perfect, almost. It doesn't give away any story. We don't see the villain. We don't even see Superman. We just see awesome action. It looks so cool.
You say it doesn't give away like the villain or anything. We see the Mother Box. We see a parademon.
Yeah, but we don't see Steppenwolf or Darkseid.
Yeah, which is good. I liked it. And there's going to be another trailer, isn't there?
I think there'll be this is trailer 1, so I think there'll be 2 more trailers probably.
Yeah. I think it was a good first trailer. Crazy good action, crazy good sort of camera work and CGI and all that kind of stuff. We saw Mira as well.
We saw Jim Gordon.
Yeah, we saw Jim Gordon. Really, really looking forward to this.
Me too. I think that DC might be back on a good path. I think after these Wonder Woman trailers and these Justice League trailers, I am hyped to go see their movies, and I am really, really excited for Justice League.
Same. This shoots Justice League straight up to the top of my want-to-view list for 2017.
Me too. Justice League's my favourite team, and I really hope this is good. Now, Finn, there is something I want to talk to you about the Justice League trailer. A bunch of people have been saying they're not really into the Cyborg CGI. Now, what do you think of the Cyborg CGI?
I think it's a bit of a blend between sort of the comic book and a bit of sort of artistic impressionism. I personally think it's a bit too sort of lights and moving parts and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm not too unhappy about it.
Yeah, me too. I am okay with the Cyborg CGI. I think it looks pretty solid, but I'm also willing to say, like, even if it does look a bit shiny and a bit sort of weightless, this movie is still 7 or so months away. You know, like, this movie's obviously not done in the rendering room. You know, they're still going to have to render. They'll probably do a little adjustments to his suit as they go through the rest of the movie. But I'd say that they'd probably, do a finished render.
Yeah, and it would look a touch different, probably, and they might tweak a little thing here or there.
It'd just look a bit cleaner.
Yeah, I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the Justice League trailer. Not really much to talk about here. There's a lot of awesome action. I'm going to give this trailer an A+.
A.
Okay then, that's it for our trailer discussion. Now, segue, DC reboots. We're going to be talking about DC reboots. There's a lot of them. We're going to go all the way since the start of DC to Rebirth. There's so many, they get confusing. Seems like they reboot every 5 years.
Wait, straight up, how many do you have?
Let me just count this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Jeez.
There's like 4 main ones, then I have a bunch of subheadings.
Yeah, okay then.
You want to jump into it?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Okay, so Reboot 1 I have coined as DC 1. This is in 1941, and this is when the Justice Society was brought together. So this brought characters from all 3 of the original publishers, National, Allied, Detective Comics, and All American. So you've got Dr. Fate, Hourman, and Sandman from Nationals. All American, you've got Flash, Atom, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman. And for Detective Comics, you've got Batman and Superman. And this isn't a reboot, but it's the first time that the DC Universe was, formed.
Oh, so it's sort of like the amalgamation of all these characters into one universe. Yeah. Okay.
The first ever, this is when the DC Universe, came to be. Before this, they were just characters published by the same comic publishers, but now they're all one shared universe.
It's sort of like the Big Bang for DC.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now I have DC 1A. So I've split it up into the main ones are whole numbers.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are just A, B, C,
This is the next reboot after they all came together, but this is not a major one.
It's like a soft reboot, like a mini reboot.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1A. This is the debut of Superboy. It's Superman's adventures as a boy. But this also contradicted the origin of Action Comics 1 and Superman 1. And this was in 1945. So this is the first sort of contradiction of the universe. They rebooted Superman's origin, but it also stuffed up other things about the universe.
Yeah, okay. It's a paradox. No, not a paradox.
It's like the first ever sort of continuity stuff up.
So it's just saying X plus 2 is equal to X.
Yeah, it's like a first ever stuff up. So DC 2, this is the first actual sort of reboot. It was in 1956. So the universe has been going strong for 15 years. Everything's been going fine. The Golden Age but this is sort of the Golden Age is ending. Okay, so this is the start of the Silver Age. Maybe one day we'll do an episode on Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, all that stuff. But
okay.
DC 2. This reboot brought about the new versions of the Flash and Green Lantern and modernized the characters such as Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and turned the JSA into the JLA.
What do you mean by modernized?
Well, in the original Batman, he snaps necks, he had the purple gloves, the original Superman didn't have many powers.
Oh, okay, so they brought him up to what we sort of would expect Batman's powers and ideology to be.
Yeah, we sort of brought him up to the new society mindset.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah, so this is the first real reboot, and we got, of course, Flash Barry Allen, Green Lantern Hal Jordan, This is sort of all the characters that appeared in this reboot are mostly the same to how they are today.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly. Okay, next up, 1961, DC 2A. So this is an important milestone in comics. This introduced the multiverse.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was, it said that the events of the JSA and all of those original stories, they just happened on Earth 2. Well, all the new stories happened on Earth 1. So Barry Allen Flash met Jay Garrick Flash.
I getcha. Okay, so...
They created the multiverse.
So prior to 1961, it was just one universe.
Prior to 1961, it was one universe. After this, it was two. It was Earth 1 and then Earth 2.
Okay, yep.
And you've probably seen the classic cover where this appeared. Finn, have you ever seen the cover where it's the brick wall? Barry Allen Flash is running on one side, Jay Garrick is running on the other. There's a big brick about to fall on a guy, and they're both running to save him.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, that is the first ever issue where the multiverse appeared.
Oh, okay, that puts a lot of context in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we have another reboot. So, there's not really many subheadings yet, but DC 3. And this universe, this reboot is confusing. DC 3, 1985. The multiverse had gotten out of control, okay? Like, they were just creating multiverse after multiverse after multiverse. Too many worlds.
Just creating new worlds.
Yeah, they're just going, oh, there's a new world here with this story, new world here with this story. There's just too many worlds.
Okay.
So what they did was they made Crisis on Infinite Earths, where they smashed all of it together to form one central Earth. So the whole multiverse was destroyed and smashed together to like mush into one sort of Earth, you know, with like generations. Like they had Jay Garrick existed in this universe, and so did Barry Allen.
But Barry Allen was...
the current Flash.
The current Flash, but Jay Garrick wasn't a Flash.
No, yeah, he was a Flash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they mushed it all together. So Jay Garrick happened, you know, but then Barry Allen took on the mantle.
So it's like saying the 19th century Flash was Jay Garrick and the 20th century Flash was Barry Allen.
Yeah, it introduced generations and legacy into the characters.
Okay, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, and it started anew. It was like a new universe. Everything was mushed together, and you've probably seen the cover where this happened too. You know, it's the cover where they have all the worlds just in a row, and there's just Superman standing there holding Supergirl's dead body.
Yeah, I've seen that.
DC 3A was during the late 80s, okay? So it's all these new versions of these original characters started to roll out.
Yeah, okay.
Who were part of the DC 3. DC really didn't want to do parallel Earths again. They wanted to do parallel stories. So guess what they did, Finn? Guess what they did?
Another reboot.
No, they made pocket Earths.
Oh my
gosh. So these
gosh.
were Earths inside our timeline, just a sliver of time. So they made a pocket Earth within our Earth. There was a sliver of time meant to look like the pre-crisis Earth. Do you get that?
Yeah, I sort of get that.
So they made a pocket Earth that was basically just a different universe.
Okay.
Like, how stupid's that? It was basically just a parallel Earth, but they just called it a pocket Earth.
They should have just made it a parallel Earth.
Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. And you'll see this more as we go on. DC really doesn't want to do parallel Earths. They keep on coming up with all these weird names and stuff. It's just stupid. Next up, DC 3B. 0 Hour 1994. It played with alternate timelines, not parallel worlds, and resulted in everything basically the same, apart from a couple of things such as the Legions of Superheroes rebooting, and that's it. Really.
Okay, so that's just basically some guy time traveled and messed up something.
You'll see that the Legion of Superheroes, they're behind a lot of these reboots. Like, I just told you about those pocket Earths.
Mm?
They created a pocket Earth just so they could have the pre-crisis Legion of Superheroes. Because Legions of Superheroes was so popular before Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Okay.
So after Crisis on Infinite Earths, they created a pocket realm just to have the Legion of Superheroes in it.
Okay then.
Are you confused yet, Finn? Does your head hurt?
It's starting to hurt, Ben.
I'm doing my best to explain it, but it's confusing. Okay, next up. DC 3C, 1999. Hypertime. Hypertime was Elseworld stories with no effect on current continuity. So they're basically alternate worlds, just they call them hypertime. So hypertime threads could occasionally manifest as part of the main timeline. You weren't able to travel through hypertime though. The Flash could travel through it with practice, but he couldn't travel through it easily. So they're like parallel worlds, but they were harder to get to.
Okay. That's just another way of saying there's a parallel world, but there's a gatekeeper that you have to get through.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes these hypertimes apparently merge with the main continuity. So it's basically just, if a story is popular, they just merge it with the main continuity.
That gives DC a lot of publishing sort of power.
Yeah, like, I don't get hypertime. Why? Just do alternate worlds.
That sounds like a big cash cow to me.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It gives DC the ability to try new stuff, and if people don't like it, say, oh, it's just in hypertime. Or if people liked it, they can say, oh, it Flash ran 1 kilometer per hour too fast, and it merged with something else and came into their main continuity or something.
Yeah, it's actually a perfect marketing strategy when you think about it.
Mm.
Okay, next up, DC 3D. So 2004, they revised Superman's origin and they relaunched the Legion of Superheroes. That's it. It was just they just redid Superman's origin.
Okay, and Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah, as I told you, Legion of Superheroes always stuffing up the continuity.
Yeah.
Okay, DC 3E.
Oh my gosh, okay.
2005, Infinite Crisis explained minor timeline tweaks, and it also... Do you know how these tweaks were explained, Finn?
How?
Finn, you know how Jason Todd was originally brought back?
From the dead, yeah?
He was brought back by these tweaks, because what happened was Superboy Prime punched as hard as he could an interdimensional world that changed the timeline.
That is very, very sneaky.
He punched an interdimensional wall, and that caused shatters in the timeline, and that brought back Jason Todd.
Jeez, okay.
This is infamous, Finn. Superboy Prime, all he did was punch an interdimensional wall, and it changed the timeline. Like that's just DC running out of ideas.
That does seem like a bit of sort of inability to think of something better to do.
You've surely heard of this, right? You've heard of Superboy punching the
I've heard
wall.
of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy, and I don't get it at all, and I really hope they never do this again, because it's weird.
Mm.
That was comics in 2005, Finn. Good we weren't reading them then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was barely out of nappies.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have the 4th version of the DC reboot, and this is one you're probably more familiar with. Actually, you've probably read most of it. It's 2011 Flashpoint.
Yep, read it.
Yeah.
This leads into New 52, doesn't it?
Yep. So Flashpoint involved Flash, for anyone who doesn't know, going back to try and save his mother, and he managed to, but it changed the entire timeline, causing this odd alternate timeline where Amazons and Atlanteans were at war, the Justice League was never formed, Bruce Wayne died instead of his parents dying.
And so Thomas Wayne is the Batman?
And eventually, though, he managed to fix the timeline, so he ran fast as he could, and he reverted the timeline, but when he reverted the timeline, it wasn't like the old timeline, it was the new timeline, the New 52.
And we didn't know what the New 52 meant until Green Lantern? No, New Guardians.
Isn't it that there was 52 different worlds in the multiverse?
It's not a multiverse where there's infinite Earths. There's a finite number of Earths, 52 to be precise. Yeah. And the Guardians of Oa were sort of the keepers of the secret. It was written in the Book of Oa. And there was a whole prophecy about the Blackest Night and that sort of stuff. And
so DC4 is probably the cleanest reboot. You know, they just rebooted everything. They just said, it's like they just got the slate and they just pushed everything off their desk, cleaned it up with a mop, and then their desk was clean. Everything could start again.
Yeah, I think I like Flashpoint actually. As a story, it was very good. I liked it.
Yeah, me too. And I think that DC4 needed to happen. Like, DC was out of control. There was 20 years or so of continuity. They just needed to start again for a new generation of readers. Mm. And it brought me into DC.
I think that it sort of... I've read a couple of pre-New 52 comics, and I've read a lot of post-52 comics. And I think that there's a big difference between them. I've read, like, the Batman before Batman, after Green Lantern, before Green Lantern, after. They're very different sort of styles, and I think it changed it for the better.
Yeah, they reflect different times in comics, and I really think that the New 52, I've fallen to love some of the New 52 characters. Like, I think the new Batman from the New 52 is possibly the best Batman ever.
Yeah, I agree. I really like some of the new Green Lanterns that they brought in with the New 52, like Kyle Rayner and stuff. I really like those.
I still think that the best version of Superman is not in the New 52. I think the best version of Superman is either Kingdom Come Superman or All-Star Superman.
Kingdom Come Superman is just crazy, but yeah.
I've actually been reading All-Star Superman recently, and I'll talk about it in This Week in Comics, but I think the Superman is perfect. Okay, so that's it for DC4. And there's one more reboot. We've got DC4A. So this is the rebirth, you know? It resulted... Oh, no. I was wrong. So we've got one more reboot, DC4A. This is Convergence.
This is really confusing.
Oh, yeah. I didn't read this because I was just too confused. This resulted... have you read it, Finn?
I picked up the first issue. I was like, what the hell is going on here? And then didn't read anything else.
You need to know a lot about the DC lore. So what happened was it resulted in the original timelines. So the original ones, like DC3, DC2, DC1.
Yeah.
These timelines still existed. They were out there somewhere, but they still existed. They weren't alternate worlds, per se, though. They were slivers of time that were left out there. So they were left over from the old worlds.
So it's like, it's like Big Bang Theory. Like, the world expands and contracts, and then does a new Big Bang, expands and contracts. But a bit of the old Big Bang is stayed on with the new Big Bang.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of what it's like. And this resulted in basically all these worlds came back. So now the universe had infinite multiverses again. Okay? Infinite worlds. And it also brought back the original Crisis on Infinite Earth Superman, so Superman 3, the one from the third DC reboot. They brought him into modern New 52 continuity. Okay,
because I've been looking at a couple of the Superman comics towards the end of the New 52. I mean, issues sort of 40 onwards, then from Rebirth onwards. I haven't...
Yeah.
Because I've looked at a couple of covers and stuff like, this is not Superman, that's Superman, but it's different. And
it's the Crisis on Infinite Earths Superman 3. So it's that Superman. It's the one he's married to Lois, he has a son. Yeah. The old Superman, the New 52 one, he's dead. He died in some story, and they've brought back the Superman from the third DC reboots.
Okay, it's trippy.
Yeah, I think it was something like, at the end of Convergence, when the multiverse was like remade to be infinite, this Superman was sort of like stuffed up in the process and ended up on our Earth, New 52.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing. I haven't really read this story, but I just know what happened. And next up, final reboot. For now, we have DC 4B. This is Rebirth, 2016. What happened here was all it really did was bring Watchmen into continuity.
Okay.
And it also brought back some classic DC characters, such as the Superman from Reboot 3, and also they brought back Kid Flash. They brought back Kid Flash.
Kid Flash, yeah. Wally West.
Yeah, Wally West. Oh, that name was escaping me. They brought back Wally West, and that's it. That's where we're at right now in the DC reboots. There's a lot of them. They were confusing. My head hurts now. But we're done. That's the DC reboots.
Done.
We're done.
I think you did really well to summarize them, because some of those are really, really trippy. I think you've oversimplified a couple, but...
Oh yeah, I oversimplified the pocket dimension.
Yeah.
I also oversimplified Convergence and Hypertime, because there's so much in there.
You had to. You couldn't do it any other way.
Yeah, so that's it for our main content for this week. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Now we're going to be doing our famous segment, This Week in Comics, where we chat what we have been reading/watching this week. And I have been watching Iron Fist. I'm up to episode 7. I just watched Immortal Emerges from the Cave.
I am one behind you, I think. I am up to Immortal Emerges from Cave.
Okay, that's episode 6.
Yeah.
And so far, I'm going to say, I don't think it deserves the harshness the critics gave it. From what I've seen so far, the show's about a B-, a B. You know, it's not perfect, it's not as good as the others, but I still think it's a decent piece of TV.
I think it's still quite slow, and it needs a big ramp up in the last couple of episodes, but I'm holding in hope that it does, and it just, wham, it's so good towards that. Episodes 10, 11, 12, 13, just to blow me away.
I've heard a couple of reviews, and they say that the last episodes are the best episodes.
That's good. That's what I was hoping, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I'd say it's a B-. So far, I'm liking it. I think that Denny Rand, I think that he's pretty cool. I like his hand effect a lot. And I think my favourite part of the show probably is the legal battles between Denny and the Meachams.
Yeah, I sort of like, my favourite bits at the moment, that's probably a bit of a spoiler, to be honest. Can I say spoiler?
Sure. Guys, quick spoiler warning for what episode?
It was sort of like the first couple, up to episode 5, 6-ish.
Okay, we'll do some, Finn's just going to do some quick spoilers up to episode 5 and 6, so if you don't want to hear any spoilers, just skip ahead.
So basically, my favourite bits are when the karate girl, her name escapes me.
Me too! I know exactly who you're talking about. I'm sure everyone who's also seen this show knows too, and they're probably screaming her name at us, but I can't remember either.
Yeah, so it's the girl that owns the dojo, and she's really struggling, and she goes to that illegal fight club, and she just beats the crap out of those guys.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty awesome.
That's my favourite bit so far. Those 2 fights where she does, and the first one where she does it against the big guy, and then the second fight where she absolutely wrecks those 2 guys.
She's a standout from the show for me, her. I think that she's a really good character, and I'm pretty sure she's an original character.
I'm sure she is, and she's probably in continuity and in comics somewhere.
She's great. I think that she's a big standard in the show. So, is that it for our quick Iron Fist discussion?
Yep, that's it, I think.
Okay, now I told you guys I was going to talk about Superman All-Star a bit. I've been reading Superman All-Star lately, and I'm going to say it is the best sort of characterization of Superman in all of comics that I've read. If you don't like Superman, I'd recommend that you read this.
What's different about, what makes this Superman better?
Okay, this Superman, one of the things that makes him better is he's really humanized when you find out that he's going to die. So he has he's going to die in a couple of weeks, you know, so he has to do all the things that he wants to do before he dies.
Okay.
So he's poisoned with solar radiation, which is his cells are exposed to too much sun, so he goes straight up to the sun, to the hottest parts, to save these people there, and this exposes his cells to the sun, and his cells start to burst from having too much solar energy inside of them.
Okay.
So he's slowly dying, and in this time, he wants to do a bunch of things before he dies, and one of those things is really connect with Lois Lane. So in this universe, he hasn't told Lois who he is yet, but he tells Lois, and it's just a perfect romance.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's the romance here between Lois and him is just amazing. Like, he gives Lois superpowers on her birthday. It's pretty beautiful, Finn.
I'll definitely need to pick some of that up, and I keep saying I'll pick something up, but I haven't read anything for the past, month or so.
You've read Kingdom Come, right?
Yeah, I've read Kingdom Come, it's great.
Read Superman All-Star next. Just read it, Finn.
It's a priority.
Pick it up, go to the comic book store, read some comics.
I promise, I will.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of this week's episode of the Super Gurus. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I definitely enjoyed doing it. And please comment below what your favourite DC reboot is. My favourite's probably DC 4. I think that's the best reboot. And also like this video and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. It's just at Legoinator_CM. Okay then, guys. See you next week. Legoinator out. Bye.
See ya.